What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a brand new Madden 26 realistic rebuild. And after yesterday's NFL trade deadline, it seemed fairly obvious. We have three very interesting teams that I think they're going to get rebuilt in order. I let you guys kind of decide the order between the Jets, the Colts, and the Cowboys, the big movers at the trade deadline. You guys voted the Jets, and here's why. First trade saw the Jets send star defensive tackle, and in the context of Madden, an 89 X factor in Quinnen Williams to the Dallas Cowboys. They get first round pick, bust Mazi Smith, a second round pick in 2026, and a first round pick in 2027. The big corner trade is they got rid of Michael Carter II and a 7th round pick to the Eagles for John Mechie and a Oh wait, there was another corner trade? The Jets trade away Sauce Gardner. Again, in the context of Madden, a 93 superstar X-Factor corner, maybe the best corner to have in Madden, to the Indianapolis Colts for A.D. Mitchell at wide receiver, who's fun within the context of Madden, and a 2026-2027 first-round pick. So we are rebuilding a Jets team that is in all-out fire sale, tear-down rebuild mode, where we're going to have two realistic draft classes in 2026 and 2027, where we have 2 first-round picks in 2026, 2 second-round picks in 2026, and most notably 3 first-round picks in 2027. So where do we start from a roster standpoint after the fire sale? I think a lot of people were surprised Breece Hall didn't get traded. I think that's going to make things interesting for this rebuild, because if we're going really realistic, it does seem like the bridge has been burned between Breece Hall and really any interest in him re-signing with the program. But for a team that is absolutely starved of talent, there's an element of like, it might be best for this rebuild to get Breece Hall to buy back in, because we do not have a lot of talent, and he absolutely can develop into a premier running back in this team and system. So that'll be a decision we need to make. We have Garrett Wilson, who, I think there were some murmurs, but his price was probably way too expensive. He is a legitimate NFL wide receiver number 1. I think our biggest priority is making sure he keeps that superstar dev until we find our franchise quarterback. 87 superstar dev, and will absolutely be a pillar of this rebuild going forward. Outside of that, you get Arian Smith, the rookie from Georgia, does pull a dev trade as a rookie. John Mechie could, there's talent there. He was a beast at Alabama. You got Mason Taylor. I think there's still a lot of upside there, even though he has a massive morale hit. He's still a 75 as a rookie. And I think you look at the offensive line, Fashanu and Membu. We have our 2 tackles. These should be guys that are going to be here. They absolutely will be guys that will be here by the time that we get things turned around here with this Jets program. I think Tittman's also another player that should be solid. I don't have a lot of worries about this offensive line, which is fun, because a lot of times when you take over terrible rebuild teams, it's like, great, I'm going to have to use a lot of premier draft picks or assets, be it salary cap and free agency, fixing an offensive line, which is kind of boring, it's kind of lame. Not the case here with the Jets, because our biggest problem right now is at quarterback. We have Justin Fields for the time being. He's going to ensure the tank so that we have a really, really good pick in 2026. I don't know what year we're going to decide to go and be aggressive getting after a quarterback. I think from a realistic rebuild standpoint, we've already used, Fernando Mendoza. We've already used Lenore Sellers. But there still are some other good quarterbacks in 2026 potentially. Or between 2026 and 2027, Dante Moore, Ty Simpson, Julian Sayin from Ohio State seems to be an absolute dog right now. So we are going to have options, but for the time being, it's going to be Justin Fields' job to navigate this tank all the way down to the bottom. And I think he'll do a great job at doing that. And now when we take a look at the defense, well, the 2 pieces, if we were doing a Jets rebuild that we'd say are cornerstones, are no longer here with Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams leaving. So, in the secondary, they got Brownlee in a trade from the Titans. He looks solid. Stevens, I know, has been a PFF darling this year. You have Thomas from Florida State that is a dev trade. So, maybe you throw Cisco and Adams there as well. Those guys are on the right side of 30. We might be able to survive without having to immediately try to find a Sauce Gardner successor to start and be our outside island type corner player. But, we're going to be BPA pretty much anywhere on the defensive side of the ball. I'd also love to see either Will McDonald or Jermaine Johnson to, take their game to a next level. Those are both, first-round picks that have played good, maybe not great, have had some injuries and stuff like that. We have Mazi Smith. Is there a reclamation there for a former first-round pick that's been nothing but a surefire, bona fide bust for the Dallas Cowboys? We will wait and see. Harrison Phillips is a solid veteran for the time being, but we absolutely are going to have to go find a Quinnen Williams replacement Linebacker core won't be too bad. Sherwood is solid. Quincy Williams, probably pissed off that his brother's no longer on the team, is a good veteran, but I mean, he's pretty much at his ceiling, and by the time that this team's ready to compete, he will no longer be a part of this roster. So there are unlimited opportunities for us on the defense side, because even like, you know, if we feel decent, like, yeah, Will McDonough, Jermaine Johnson, first-round picks, got to put it together. If they don't, like, you know, these are guys with somewhat limited ceilings that were older rookies. There might not be a position on the defensive side of the ball that we are too good at to not draft a potential player there. So this is now absolutely, in one way, the hardest rebuild in Madden 26. I think that's why so many people want to see me rebuild, especially with a realistic spin on things, where we're going to be using realistic college players from 2026 and 2027. But it's also maybe one of the easier rebuilds because we have 5 first-round picks to utilize, and you know we're going to find some studs. So let's kind of finish out this year, the tank, and get into the offseason. So when we look at 2026, there's not really a terrible option. Each rebuild is independent of one another, so like we could be in play for a Mendoza or a Dante Moore. I won't do Sellers because that was the last rebuild we just did with the Dolphins, but absolutely these guys are on the menu. If, we decide Breece Hall's not worth it, Jeremiah Love, absolute stud. Wide receiver help, we could go Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate or Mekhi Lemon if they are BPA. Offensive line, I feel good about our O-line. We're going to get Elijah Vera Tucker back next year. So I don't really think there's a lot of worry there, especially at the tackle spots. Defensively, could a TJ Parker, for example, be a BPA selection for us? Yeah. I mean, we're going to have some contract negotiations we're going to get to right after that. They could give us a little bit more clarity as far as like our S-tier needs, but like Ruben Bain could certainly be in play. Uiagalelei, Cassius Howell could be players that we consider. At D tackle, well, you got to replace Quinnen Williams. Peter Woods could fit that bill. Or Caden McDonald's had a breakout year for Ohio State, being able to get after the quarterback. There's also a lot of good depth here in this class at defensive tackle if we do decide that we want to wait. Arvell Reese could be an absolute game changer. He's a Sam linebacker, kind of going to view him like Jahad Campbell, kind of like that hybrid stud. I mean, he is looking like a blue chip player for this upcoming class, and we are far from like comfortable across the defense to ignore, maybe the non-premium positions like a linebacker or Caleb Downs could be the best player in the class, would walk into our team. That would be a pretty fun pick. Thieneman's also a stud. You look at the corners. Do we have a Sauce Gardner replacement? I mean, maybe not out the box, but like Jermod McCoy, Mansour Delane, Terrell, those guys are very much blue chip or blue chip adjacent type corners for legitimate first round corners. We could go get one of those guys. We have $150 million of salary cap, which means we got to decide what we're doing. I'll tell you right now, we're just going to rip the Band-Aid off. AVT, 4 years, $71 million. That's getting donezo. I think for our lack of talent in the secondary, and Andre Sisco, who I was a big fan of in college, he was a ball hawk in college. 25, 77 with a dev trait. That seems like, we're starting up for talent. That is a great player, and I think we'll come back. Right now, he turned down 22. We could probably get him $23, $24 million. We'll get that locked in next week. I think from a realistic standpoint, there's no interest in Quincy Williams. He's old as well, so I think we're going to let him walk, probably go down to Dallas and join his brother. But the big question mark here is Breece Hall. I think we should keep him, but I also think there's an element of realism where, like, I don't think he'd even entertain contract extension offer from the Jets. We're making this the hardest rebuild possible. I'm going to try to enact realism in saying that we will not extend Breece Hall, because I think in real life that, they could absolutely try to. I think that re-sign interest would far be yellow. I think it'd be what's below. It'd be lower than Andre Sisco. It would be like purple. It's so red. So at the end of year number 1, the tank has been kind of completed. We go 3-14. So in the grand scheme of things, still we're unable to out-tank the Browns, but we do have the number 2 pick, which, we'll be able to do damage with that, getting BPA, be it quarterback or punting on a quarterback and waiting until next year's draft where we have 3 first-round picks to do even more damage. Looking at our player sets, honestly, Justin Fields didn't play too horrific. Played better in Madden than he did in real life. Almost 3,500 yards, 21 touchdowns to 12 picks. But that's not terrible. Like, I think we could, if we decide not to go quarterback, I mean, probably we'll know by the thumbnail what I do decide to do. don't really know right now. Like if we don't go quarterback, we could probably run back Justin Fields for another season, and it wouldn't be the end of the world. For the running backs, because I decided not to re-sign Breece Hall, as soon as Braylon Allen came back from injury, I let him be the starter, and really wasn't giving us a significant drop-off by any means. So, like, Braylon Allen, I'm a big fan. Guy's built like freaking Blastoise. He could absolutely be, a guy that we might be able to develop, not spend a lot of resources at running back, and see if we can make Braylon Allen a guy. Receiving, we at least got Garrett Wilson his. I don't know if this is going to be good enough to keep his superstar dev. I hope so. 93 catches, 1,200 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Mason Taylor had a good year for a rookie tight end, 600 yards. Donnie Mitchell came in, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. Arian Smith, dev trade rookie, 400 yards and 3 touchdowns for a limited passing offense. Those aren't disgustingly bad numbers, but I just think the number one thing I want to leave this year with is still a superstar dev for Garrett Wilson. Defensively, Sherwood is a tackle machine. He's on a normal dev, so I have all the expectation in the world that he will go up a dev trade when all is said and done. Maui Goa, the rookie from Miami, almost finished with 100 tackles. Same with Brownlee. From a sacks perspective, 5.5 for Jermaine Johnson, 5.5 for Will McDonald. Mozzie Smith actually kind of played pretty well. Change of scenery, helping out the former first-round bust. I know we have a decision to make with his fifth-year option, but, maybe he could develop into something. But I really was kind of hoping, we'd be flirting with double-digit sacks for a Johnson and a Will McDonald. The fact that that wasn't the case, we inherited their IRL stats for half the year, so I'm not going to make a career decision on either one of these guys, but I'm not super optimistic that we have like our pass rush tandem for when this team's ready to go on and compete for a Super Bowl. With our interception numbers, we have a defensive head coach in Aaron Glenn. This defense sucks, and we don't have a single award winner. We're not even close, I don't think, for any of these awards. Let's just see for like top 3, top 5. I don't think. Statistically, actually, Garrett Wilson, there we go. Number 3 wide receiver. I would say looking at that standing, I don't think he'll lose the superstar dev, which is a win. But everywhere else, Nick Folk, old man Nick Folk, who's 78 years old, runner-up for kicker of the year. As we get to the end of the year, Tyrod Taylor and Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert was like a star dev running back. I've decided 1 year with the Jets is enough to call it quits. X Factor. Excuse me? Wasn't expecting a dev trade increase on Garrett Wilson. Made the Pro Bowl, I guess, but like even that like doesn't officially have any tie to like him going up to an X Factor. But hey, if we have to run it back another year with Justin Fields, at least it's like I'm fine with him. His floor being a superstar dev until we can find that franchise quarterback, be it this year or next year. Any other dev trades? We got nothing at all. We're going to have Arian Smith. He's not showing up on the wide, but he has a dev trade. We got Vera Tucker back at right guard. So, that's great. 85 dev trade line. Again, we're going to be going into this. We need a left guard because we're going to let Simpson walk. But other than that, I think we can keep this offensive line together. I think maybe Mason Taylor had a good enough year. Flirting with potentially getting off that normal dev. Defensively, let's see. We got... Damn, not a whole lot. Sherwood goes from note to star. He only had almost 200 tackles to get that. No other dev traits up or down. So we are going to let Breece Hall walk. We have the 5th-year option on Will McDonald. We are going to decline that just because not sure right now. We also have the 5th-year option on Mozzie Smith, which we're also going to decline right now. So as we go to free agency, we are in an interesting spot where don't need to be looking for win-now players. Also in a spot where really good players are not going to want to consider. George Pickens, 25 years old, 88 superstar dev. That would solve a lot of issues for us. That would give us a wide receiver 1A, 1B. I would have to he's looking for 27. I'd probably have to go 40 a year to get him to join us with that low interest. So we're at a state of a franchise where we're probably not going to be able to get anyone fun in free agency, but we'll try our best. With letting Breece Hall hit free agency, I think our plan is Braylon Allen right now. And we'll look to the draft if there's a BPA there. But I think we can go Allen for our RB and see what he can do as a full year as a starter. Could always use more weapons at wide receiver, but George Pickens is really the only wide receiver that looks remotely interesting, and we can't afford him. Offensive line, we need a guard to come in and upgrade over John Simpson, who's not necessarily a long-term option. And taking a look at the interior linemen that are available, I think we're going to be looking towards the draft. I mean, honestly, if one of these guys had interest, I would consider it. But the fact that we'd have to overpay again, not in this team's best interest. But even the players that I'm putting good offers on, I went above and beyond. I get about $8 million a year on Ivan Pace. No, we're just in the mix at best. Awesome. And the further we go down into free agency here, ugh, I don't want to get a say just because I think the guy that's calling me in the draft could be Caleb Downs. Dane Belton's not bad. Good athlete. 25.77. If we do this, that means we won't get Caleb Downs. I'm not saying I want to force Caleb Downs, but no. And Ivan Pace goes to the Bengals like they got money to throw around. Look at other top names that have gone. John Simpson has joined the Saints. Breece Hall is on the Patriots. George Pickens going to the 49ers. So we have information on the quarterbacks. So I look at the next best three that could be in play for us, depending on what the Cleveland Browns end up doing at pick number 1. So we got Peter Woods, Jermod McCoy, the best D tackle, the best corner. After losing Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner, makes a lot of sense. And we'll also just, I would say it's almost confirmation at this point, ensuring that Caleb Downs is a top 5 talent. So looking at the final mock draft, Mendoza is going to the Cleveland Browns. So we are currently mocked with Dante Moore, which we've yet to use him in a realistic rebuild. I think he's if I'm looking at all the quarterbacks right now that exist in college football, he's the one that I feel could be the best of the bunch. I don't know if it's time for us to go quarterback. If we don't go quarterback, I mean, we have everybody else available to go. TJ Parker, especially with not great performances from Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson this year. I've already used Remain in a rebuild, so I'm kind of, I would just hate, look, we have information now. Peter Woods is a first-round talent. Do I want to draft a guy that we know is just a first-round talent, knowing that we have a top 5 pick and the number 2 pick? Caleb Downs is top 5, but, again, the value of, is safety at 2 make a lot of sense. Now, if we could trade back, if a team at 7, 6, 5 wants to come up to 2, that might be something that can make sense and continue to acquire as much draft assets as we could. And the Jermod McCoy at 17 to the Patriots, he has also been scouted as a legit first-round talent. So we got plenty of options. But I think right now, I'm leaning towards Caleb Downs and or Peter Woods versus going quarterback at 2. Just I think next year's class is a little bit more interesting at quarterback. And we have those 3 first-round picks. But we'll see what the trade market is. So pick number 1 is Fernando Mendoza. And yes, we have pick 24 way down there that we could also potentially trade up and get aggressive with to, we have so many needs. But I'm just very interested right now, can we move back between any team in the top 7? I'd be interested in pick up additional second round. So we have pick 27, pick 18, pick 14. Ooh, move back 2 spots. Get a second rounder next year for the most part. Okay, I'm interested with that. We could move back to 8. But see, I don't want to, if I go back to 8, there's too many missing, that's going to kind of screw up for sure the mock draft order. But second round this year, I guess, is the value in that. We can move back to 6 with the Raiders. Ooh, 6, and then we get a second, third. That's looking pretty good. I think we might have to do business there with the Raiders. Now, there's a risk here, though, because, I'm thinking we move back to 6. Peter Woods is going at 5. It's pretty much hoping that Caleb Downs is still there for making this move. Let's do it. So the Raiders trade out for Ruben Bain. They go pass rush. Okay, TJ Parker goes at 3. Pick 4 is Peter Woods. Dude, is there a way that we don't get Caleb down? Fuck! That would be fine. Just at this point, just say, screw it, let's keep trading back. But we're not getting any even remotely interesting trades to still get a good player this year. I think maybe trading up from our next pick would make a lot of sense. So I think with where we're at, I mean, Dante Moore is kind of stared us in the face here. But if we want to leave with a stud still, Arvell Reese is a top 5 talent still on the board. And for our team, just he's got to be a hybrid. You can play at linebacker as a rookie, kind of use him as a pass rush linebacker. And then when it comes time, like we didn't pick up the option on Will McDonald, like we can move him full-time pass rusher. He is just that good at everything, so I think that's going to be our pick here. Don't view it as we're drafting a linebacker. View it as we're drafting just a hybrid on the defensive side of the ball. And unlike a lot of hybrids that, you think of like Isaiah Simmons, you think of, Hassan Reddick to a certain degree. He was a first-round pick. I have a player for Reese, and we get number 5 in true value at 6. Dev trait, A-tier athlete, not S-tier. 91 acceleration. I mean, he's 250. He's a little bit on the big side. So, yeah, he is trending towards. He's like on that A-S-tier athlete. But I'm viewing him long-term. He's going to be a pass rusher for us. So I think we're now at a spot. Interesting board as it is, get Jeremiah Love, who we could just say screw Braylon Allen, and we let Breece Hall walk. Let's just get an upgrade right away. Still have Jordan Tyson at wide receiver, who would be a very interesting. I'm thinking, though, we trust our scouting. Jermod McCoy is still a first-rounder on the board. Last mock draft, he went at pick 17, so we'd have to call the Bears here to safely get him. I think that's going to be the play. So it's not a, big jump up. All it took was a future third-round pick, and we have 2 third-round picks next year, so it's not like we've eliminated ourselves from that round. And with the loss of Sauce Gardner and really no upside corners on the roster, we have Terrell, you got Chris Johnson, you have A.J. Harris, but I think McCoy, who could fall a little bit in the draft. He's been hurt this year for Tennessee. I believe he's returning soon. I don't think it's an out-for-season thing. Could be wrong. But A-man, B-zone, this is a guy you're drafting every draft, even generated or not. He's a top 10 talent, number 9 in true value at 16. We get the dev trait. He's just an outstanding, explosive athlete. 95 acceleration, 97 agility, 97 jumping, 91 speed, and we get the dev trait. Please make us forget about Sauce Gardner. So the second pick of the first round, because we missed it on downs, I still think there's a need for safety. And Dillon Thieneman is a very, very talented player. Purdue transfer going to Oregon. Big-time athlete. Pretty much goods, greats, elites across the board. And he'll be able to step in as a day 1 starter for us at safety, which is what we need. We let Tony Adams walk, and we got to find a partner for Andre Cisco, and I think we'll be able to get that. 26, so he's a first-rounder in terms of value still at pick 34. We get another dev trait, and you can see, plus athleticism. He'll be a nice player for us. Now, at pick 12 in the second round, I'm thinking the value right now is at one of these linebacker spots. York, Perkins, and Sonny Styles. I think with Arvell Reese, he could play linebacker right now, and we had Jamian Sherwood, who popped dev trait, so I don't know how much we need 3 linebackers for this year, but I think if the plan is eventually to have Arvell Reese kind of bleed, like, I think there's a good shot I'm going to make Reese kind of like one of our rush defensive ends and stuff like that. I think you bring in someone like Sonny Styles at 6'4", 234, freak of nature, 4.3 speed, elites. I think we keep that Ohio State pipeline going. He's BPA, maybe not the... I think like a guard would have been sick in terms of true value. I think maybe adding depth at running back to add competition in case Braylon Allen's not the guy could have been sick. But above all, I think linebacker could make some sense. And it's still a good value pick. 37 in true value at 44. Pop with a dev trait and S-tier athleticism. 4th round, we're going to go Reed Adams from A&M. I think his draft stock's fallen a little bit, but he's the best guard available, and we need someone that could potentially start as a rookie at left guard. 102 at 98. Can live with that. No dev trait, but I think he might still be 70 plus. Like probably between 68 and like a 71 rated if you're on a top 100 player. You know what, to finish with the draft, let's bring in a dog at quarterback. I don't know. Big fan. I'm a big fan of his game. So take a look at a draft recap. Obviously, the trade back from 2 bit us in the ass severely. But I think our draft haul ends up being still very good. Pavia, 67. Thorson, we needed a starting punter. We get a 70 Delp backup tight end. We only had one tight end on the roster. Reed Adams in the 4th round, 70 rated. He might have a chance to start as a rookie. Sonny Styles, 74 with the dev trait. Thieneman, 75 with the dev trait. McCoy, 77 with the dev trait. And Arvell Reese, 78, top 5 true talent. I mean, it's good class. And if you try to think of, like, you know, the best case Aaron Glenn defense is like, all right, let's take a look at the best pieces that he had in Detroit. I don't know. I'm not going to put Arvell Reese in like the Aidan Hutchinson tier. But like if he could be, that would be sick. But I mean, it's fair to say we probably don't have an Aidan Hutchinson yet. But like McCoy should be an absolute stud. There's always been good safeties between Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. I think Thieneman can be that guy. I think Styles could probably be more of the Brian Branch, like the big nickel, pass cover, huge hitting tone setter across the middle. So I think we have like two kind of, you know, guys that fit that mold. I don't know if we're going to have like the interception numbers that he got with Kirby Joseph, but I think all in all, did a pretty good job. You know, unable to really replace Quinnen Williams. And it's going to be a minute to see if Jermod McCoy can replace and fill the shoes of Sauce Gardner. But I think this is a hell of a start. And then we're going to go into the 2027 class, 3 first-round picks with a plan to get a quarterback and whatever else at BPA. And we're probably not going to be particularly good this year. So I think we're going to have, of those 3 first-round picks, I'd like to be optimistic and say at least one of them will be top 5. I will also say, full disclosure, I will not, and I will show the records of Dallas and Indy. So it's not like I lost them to have like terrible records, so we end up having 3 top 10 picks or anything like that. We'll see organically what we can get in return. I'm expecting our first-round pick will be that. Because look, the Colts went 14-3, and we know Dallas is usually, you know, you're picking late teens, early 20s with them. And with the questions about, like, can Arvell Reese, like, is he going to be an edge rusher or is he going to be kind of a hybrid, maybe similar to, like, Jahad Campbell for my Philadelphia Eagles, where it's like you look at all the scouting reports, could be an edge rusher, might have to be linebacker. I think Reese, dominating this drill, he's going to be a pass rusher. He's going to get after the quarterback. He's going to be a double-digit guy. So take a look at our team as we go into year 2. I think offensively, it could be rough. We're pretty much running it back with the same offense that was a mixed bag outside of Garrett Wilson. But we have Arian Smith and Adonai Mitchell have game-changing speed. Yeah, we have the probably about 10-point downgrade between Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. But I just think we're schematically a team that probably doesn't need a crazy running back. And I'm optimistic. Braylon Allen gets a dev trade. I'm committing to making him our running back of the rebuild. Love to see Mason Taylor build off of a rookie season. I think had him tweening as far as getting a dev trade increase, and we get him up to a start at. That'd be sick. Big change though at left guard. We're going to go with the rookie. Reed Adams is starting, about a 10-point downgrade from last year's starter Simpson there. But as a whole, I think this offensive line's only to get better. I'd love to get Fashanu into the 80s when all is said and done. But a big question mark for the offense. I think Justin Fields can do a great job at securing us a very high pick. Defensively is where I want to see things trend in the right direction. From a secondary standpoint, McCoy is almost an 80 coming out of training camp. We have Thomas, Stevens, Brownlee. We got a decent secondary from a corner room standpoint. Thieneman and Cisco at safety, I think, going to be solid. Our pass rush, Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald, and Arvell Reese. I'd love to see a Johnson or McDonald kind of step up and break out a little bit this year. Mozzie Smith would be cool to like get something of value out of that Dallas Cowboy trade with Quinnen Williams. So all eyes on him to potentially break out a little bit with Sherwood and Sonny Styles at linebacker. I think the defense is going to be good. On paper, very high upside on the defense. I think we did enough that, like, I'm looking long-term at the defense. Like, we probably need, we got to figure out the defensive line a little bit. Maybe could still use another corner when all is said and done. But I think defense is done. Offense, quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Offense needs some TLC. And I think with those 3 first-round picks in 2027, that's where we're going to fix the offense. Now, getting a quick look at this class, it'd be so good if one of, Indy or Dallas sucks ass. Look at the quarterbacks. We have Julian Sayin, Ty Simpson, Arch Manning, Levitt, Sorsby, Lagway. It's a great quarterback class. And really, when you're going 2 years down the line, you still have a sense of optimism that, a Lagway or an Arch Manning can turn around and, establish themselves as the high-tier player that they thought that we were going to be coming out of college. But I think Simpson and Sayin are the 2 players that we're kind of keying in on for quarterback, but we're going to need a top 5 pick to get one of them. At running back, if it doesn't work out with Braylon Allen, You know, Ahmad Hardy, Isaac Brown's pretty much Devon Achane 2.0. Get you Darian Price, Nate Frazier, Jaden Baugh, like a really, really good running back class as well. Wide receiver, I mean, is there a way that we could be bad enough to get Julian Sayin, Ty Simpson at quarterback, and then find a way to get a Jeremiah Smith, or get Jeremiah Smith first and then a quarterback second? That would be pretty badass. But we also have Ryan Williams from Alabama, Cam Coleman, and we used Cam Coleman in our last rebuild, so I probably wouldn't double up there. But like Jacoby Lane's a legitimate first rounder. Ryan Wingo is a legitimate first rounder. Wesco Craver, Nick Myers, Brand Staley from Tennessee, Cooper, Trey Wilson. A lot of depth at wide receiver as well. Looking at the offense, I mean, that guard spot still is a little bit of a question mark. I don't really know if I'd want to use one of those first rounders on a guard, so I probably wouldn't consider that too much. Defensively, though, if we decide to move off, and like maybe Arvell Reese is only the pass rusher that we have long-term, and Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald aren't worth it, there are some pass rushers. John Henry Daly from Utah is a stud. Anthony Smith from Minnesota is probably the most productive pass rusher in college football right now. He's one of the top probably 3 or 5 in terms of sacks and TFLs. So that could be good. Other side gets better, though. The blue chips, Colin Simmons from Texas, Dillon Stewart from South Carolina. Sign me up. That would be pretty sick. Amari Washington has had a very good campaign for Oregon. Big-time athlete, built like a nose tackle, plays like a 3-tech. Linebacker, we don't really need to worry about linebacker too much. Even though, you got Sammy Brown's probably another one of those guys that's a bubble blue chip type player. But corner, Leonard Moore is absolutely going to be worthy of a top 5 pick. One of the best corners I've seen in college football in a minute. But it's another position group that there is a lot of depth at corner. Ellis Robinson, Colton Hood, Keith Apney, Xavier Brown, D'Angelo Pons. I mean, you're getting more so into nickels. We can always use a nickel. Blue Carter, Stamps could be in the discussion at safety. Of Coy Parrish, who's kind of Travis Hunter 2.0, two-way player for Minnesota. That would be kind of cool. Maybe bring him in potentially. But there's a lot of interesting players, and we have 3 first-round picks to make this team that much more interesting come the start of year 3 of this rebuild. And we win week 1. Sick. I mean, the Dolphins they're bad. Like, this is probably one of the games that, like, we circled that we could maybe win. Not a bad showing from Justin Fields. 2 touchdowns, no picks. Braylon Allen was solid. Aaron Smith, Mitchell, solid. Don't really love that for Garrett Wilson. At least he did get in the end zone. Defensively, we got a sack from, okay, great. Probably the only guy that I don't really want to see a sack from. Oh, yeah, man, we sweep the Dolphins. And Justin Fields kind of went off with a 5-touchdown performance. We're not making this a Justin Fields rebuild. Don't worry. But I don't know. What's his is he a free agent this year? If he's not, I might be able to trade him. Get something. It's coming over bye week. Before we look at contracts, we have a breakout. Any and all breakouts are welcome for the state of our roster. Now, this is a defensive back breakout. Could be for anybody. I'd love to see it be, not like sometimes you get these scenarios and it's just someone completely random that wouldn't really benefit the roster. But this is for Thomas, the start-of second-year man out of Florida State. A good showing here against Arizona, who are 0-6, looking for their first win. That is a very favorable situation for him to become a superstar depth player. And we win. Probably not a crazy win, but we hold them to 14 with maybe. I don't want to win too many more games. 3 wins. I really would like under 5. 5-6 definitely needs to be our ceiling. But for Thomas, oh, baby. That's at least a promising start to the question. Do we just get a superstar depth corner? I'm out. Oh, this is looking good, boys. Oh, damn it. Oh, we got the winner. Let's look at some contracts. So from a salary cap standpoint, I truly actually wonder how much salary we really do have, because there's got to be some dead money, considerable dead money on the Sauce Gardner deals that we got rid of. Contracts here. Well, I like Tippmann. I think this is kind of an easy, you're not going anywhere. We'll give you a 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, lock you in for the rest of the rebuild. $29 million. Done. Don't have to worry about interior line. Now, Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald. I like the fact that both of them are interested. Don't know the fact Justin Fields is up, so even if he has a good year, we can't ship him off for picks. Mozzie Smith, very much a wait and see. I think I'd like to keep one of. They're both 27. What do we got going here? Jermaine Johnson has 2.5 sacks. Not great. Will McDonald has 2 sacks. We'll see. If either one of these guys, I'd say 9. 9 would be the threshold. I'll bring back one of them. Obviously, Arvell Reese will be an edge rusher long term. I'm not going to bring back both. But if one of these guys get 9, I'll bring him back. And I'd love for it to be Jermaine Johnson. So at the end of the year, I think we did our job, right? We tanked. We go 4-13 again with 3 first-round picks. Pat, like the offense looks. The thing I don't like though is, you know, kind of committed to Aaron Glenn. Defensive coach. Our defense is dog shit, and like our defense is the thing I should be trending in the right direction. The fact that it's not. I think I might fire the defensive coordinator and see, fire him and see what other DCs might be out there to collaborate with Aaron Glenn, aka is there another defensive scheme that we may be able to bring in? Well, here we go. I mean, Justin Fields was, again, like, I'm not, I think clearly won't be a guy that can win us a Super Bowl, but he's been better than expected. And I think kind of not going quarterback in 2026 and being like, let's go Justin Fields for one more year. Like, he at least, like, facilitate the offense. Under 1,000 yards for Braylon Allen kind of stings a little bit, but, I mean, that's not a brutal season either. From a passing standpoint, Garrett Wilson got his. I don't know if that's going to be enough to keep his superstar X factor, but that's not bad. Just under 1,000 for Arian Smith, who's developing into a nice playmaker for us. Mason Taylor had almost 800 yards, 6 touchdowns. Look at that. Donnie Mitchell, double-digit touchdowns. 680 yards. I didn't really start this rebuild with an idea that like a Donnie Mitchell or Arian Smith would develop into a guy for us, but I think like at minimum we might get something here. I don't think either one of those guys might get. I think we might get a depth trade though. Mason Taylor, at least a chance. That could be, to go from normal to star. You're looking for like top 10 tight end numbers. I think he's probably going to be in the ballpark, but it's not a guarantee. I think my big worry is like, can we keep Garrett Wilson as an X factor so that he's an X factor and our new quarterback that we drafted in the first round will inherit an X factor. Defensively, Sherwood, Styles, Thieneman, Cisco, all over 100 tackles. From a sack standpoint, 6.5 Johnson, 5.5 Mozzie Smith, 5 from Phillips, 3.5 Sherwood. Jesus Christ, dude, this defense fucking sucks. This Jets defense, what are we doing here? Arvell Reese, I mean, again, we kind of had him split between 2 positions. I thought he'd have, second on the team in TFLs. But that's dog shit. Interceptions, 3 from Sherwood. I mean, Sherwood's playing great, which is really good. Cisco with a pick, Thomas, but nothing. No. Changes need to be made. For what it's worth, Jeremy and Sherwood, top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year voting. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Sonny Styles at 4, Arvell Reese at 6. But Sherwood did get Linebacker of the Year. Sonny Styles as a rookie, top 3 as well, so happy with that. Now our picks. We have in the AFC South, the Colts did make the playoffs. We have their first round pick from the Sauce Gardner trade, and then we have the Dallas Cowboys. So we got picked 3 and 4 in the first round. And then the Colts, closer to 10 than not. Yeah, it'd be lame if I just kind of like forced the wins and losses for these teams to be bad so that our picks are good. No shenanigans at foot. Colts, honestly shocked that the Cowboys were this freaking bad. So for us on the offensive side of the ball, dev traits, we maintained Garrett Wilson's. We gained a dev trait here on Mason Taylor. Just as expected. I don't know if that production that he's getting is good enough to get the jump from star to superstar, but it's good enough to get him off that normal dev. And good to know that, his ceiling has increased with that dev trait increase. Ooh, and then on the defensive side of the ball, Jermod McCoy, star dev. Dillon Thieneman, star dev. Sonny Styles, star dev. We get the superstar dev on Sherwood for getting Linebacker of the Year. And Arvell Reese, out the box, was a superstar. Good to know. Using this class, right? Made the Pro Bowl. Is now an X factor because we're not re-signing Jermaine Johnson or... it's one of those things. Do I re-sign one of them? Either way, Arvell Reese is going to pass rusher as an X factor. Now, we're going to fire our DC here just to see if there's any other schemes, or are they all just generated guys? Wow, they're all generated guys. So great, we're stuck with what we got. So for us at the end of the year, we're going to decline the 5th-year option on Fashanu to get ahead of that. I think all things equal, I mean, we got 3 first-round picks. Do we go? Can we go? Pass rush. I think that's what we have to do here. Like, we could keep Jermaine Johnson and not go pass. Like, I like the fact that it's only a 2-year deal at 28. But if we bring him back, then we can't go pass rush, and we kind of handicap ourselves for where we could invest our 3 first-round picks, knowing 2 of them are top 5. One will obviously be a quarterback of our choosing, I think, unless one of the the teams ahead of us desperately need a quarterback. I think the Saints are up there, and they just drafted a QB. So, I mean, I think we let him walk. I think from saving money standpoint, got a bad contract here by Brandon Stevens for about $10 million, so why not? So going into free, we got 3 first-round picks, 2 top 5 picks. Where do we need to get better? Quarterback, obvious. I think we could, if there's like a nice running back, sure. But if not, I wouldn't hate with Braylon Allen. I think we're going to be an offense in a scheme that's never going to really utilize a big-time running back, unless it's like, a S-tier guy that could be available. Wide receiver, sure, if the right opportunity presents itself. But I think we're good on the offensive line. Defensively, need D tackles, need 2 D tackles, need an edge rusher. Could use, a true game changer at corner that would allow us maybe to move Thomas, who has a lack of speed, to the slot. And then we'd have McCoy and somebody else on the outside. And Aaron Glenn. Perfect storm. I don't know if we can get him. We'll go try. So wide receiver, there's no real upgrade to be had. Would have really liked to see a D tackle here. Like Mozzie Smith's there, and I mean, I guess he is part of that Quinnen Williams trade, but like that's just D tackle money is ridiculous in Madden. I think we're gonna have to look towards the draft. There's not really a big outside corner. With all due respect to Riley Moss. So, Aidan Hutchinson. We're going to have to give him an insane amount of money, but we have an insane amount of money. Like, it literally makes, what's it right now? $45 million a year? Now, this is, oh my God. 30, because, this money's never getting spent. 30-30? 5-year, $300 million? I feel like I got to go more. Here's an offer that if we don't get it, it's a realistic rebuild. Unrealistic. But, the perfect get. And if he doesn't come at this, it doesn't matter if we would have offered this $310 million or $315 million. If he's not taking $310, there's no realm of possibility that he would join the Jets. We are probably overpaying by, I would guess, at least $10 million a year over second place. Because look, and here's the crazy thing. We have no gigantic contracts coming up. We're going to have some big contracts. The offensive line, for sure, like Fashano and Membu need to get paid. But we're about to be operating the rest of this rebuild on a rookie quarterback contract, right? We didn't pay Breece Hall, so there's extra money there. We need game changers, and if you're hitting a reset, even just like the storyline, the Aaron Glenn, if Aidan Hutchinson was to leave, and you look around the league, it would be reuniting with Aaron Glenn if he was going to go somewhere else, go to a bigger market in New York. We had to hit the reset. We had to get rid of our blue chips in Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. And now that we're cashing in the first rounders, we have an X factor in Arvell Reese. If Arvell Reese has an X factor and Aidan Hutchinson has an X factor, can't get us more than 6 sacks, we're fucked. Did he sign an extension? Did he just sign an extension with the Lions? Please say he didn't. Contract 1 day ago. 4-year, 180. And I just gave him 5-year, 350. Not my fucking fault, all right? It's Madden's fault. Aidan Hutchinson had, steroids or something. something voided his deal with Detroit. He hit the open market. Not my fucking problem. I'm going to have no regrets. I don't want to see a single comment. Madden's fault, not my fault. Update the damn contracts. So you want the good news or the bad news? The good news, we got 2 top 5 picks. The bad news, Cardinals are picking first, and they're going Julian Sayin. I want Julian Sayin. Nothing wrong with Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson will get his own rebuild. But for the sake of, I waited a year, I'm getting the best quarterback in the class. Sayin fully scouted, so we need to trade up. Not loving that, but we do have 3 first-round picks. I'm going to bust out the trade value calculator, and we'll see what makes sense. So, able to make a move. We had to jump up from pick 3 to get pick 1. I had to go pick number 3, pick 13, and then a future 2 and a 4 to slightly overpay. We have now number 1. We're going to lock in our franchise quarterback, and we still have pick number 5. 1 and 5, baby. Just look at this beast. I don't know what caused the Detroit Lions to void that new contract extension for him to fall into our lap. But we had to pay double what Detroit paid to get him to join us, which means he needs to perform. So it is annoying that, with 3 first-round picks, we still had to give up. We only get 2 because we had to go get our guy. But, we'll view it as, we did get Aidan Hutchinson under slightly nefarious circumstances, I guess, now in hindsight. So maybe a punishment is like, we don't get our 3 first-rounders because we just got, an edge rusher that we might have drafted with that extra first round. We might have went out and got a Dillon Stewart or a Colin Simmons or something like that. But our quarterback of the future, our franchise QB out of Ohio State, trading up to get him, Julian Sayin, should be like a normal dev. Welcome to the city that never sleeps. Number 20 in true value at pick number 1. We do get a dev trait. 90 throw power. Definitely not a cannon of an arm. Decent mobility. His accuracy, though, is what really makes him stand above the other quarterback prospects. And he will need to be the savior of the New York Jets. So the next pick at pick 5. Interesting board. We don't need safeties. We could look at corner. We have Ellis Robinson, still graded as a first-round talent. Would have loved Leonard Moore. But Robinson, he's a legit first-rounder. You'd love to find who the other top 5 true talent is. There's a chance maybe it could be Sammy Brown. We really do need defensive tackle help. Washington, though, I don't know if there's a lot of value there at 5. That's where you would want that 3rd first-round pick. Because we do decide to wait. I mean, there's other guys, right, that could be solid. We're good at pass rush. Colin Simmons probably is top 5. We just don't need him. Offensively, we could look at a challenge for Garrett. We don't. I think I'm coming down on Ryan Williams here. Why not pair freak talent with a brand new quarterback? Let's do it. Hopefully, with our second-round picks, we can get a good D tackle. We probably need 2 D tackles. That might be our next 2 picks. But Ryan Williams, there we go. We get to number 5. True value. Speedster out of Alabama. Doesn't really have, it would have been cool maybe to, Sayin and Jeremiah Smith. But I'm happy with the consolation prize being Ryan Williams. Another, A tier. Jeremiah Smith might be an S tier wide receiver prospect, but Ryan Williams is an A+ tier wide receiver prospect. I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna go pick by pick and be like, you know what? I got 2 second-rounders. Could I trade up to bottom 5 picks of the first round by throwing those to get Amari Washington? He just goes top 10. So that pipe dreams, that's all we need is a D tackle right now. So we picked 35 and 47. I mean, we do have a top pick of a potential running back here. Ahmad Hardy, Missouri. Jaden Baugh from Florida. Isaac Brown from Louisville. That could be interesting. But looking at what we have at D tackle, we have David Stone, Rod Watson, DJ Hicks. I think we might have to go Stone and just hope that there's something there. We can roll a dev trait. Because we don't need anything else. Right? Corner. Ugh. Hampton was a big time recruit. Snowden's kind of a Travis Hunter light, plays offense and defense for Utah. But I'm gonna say we gotta trust the board here. Out of desperation, we're gonna go David Stone of Oklahoma, and hopefully we can roll a dev trait 97 at 35, but we do get the dev trait, so there we go. A nice high ceiling there. A fucking brutal roll at running back, dude. Mod Hardy and Isaac Brown go. We got Jaden Buzz, a Florida Gator. But I mean, now we're just at a talking point right now. Where it's like, is any one of these running backs gonna be better than just continuing to develop Braylon Allen? Because Braylon Allen was like a 20-year-old when he got drafted, so he's only 22. Still a really high ceiling. We got Trey Edge Green. That'd be fun, but like I'm pretty happy with our tight end room right now. I'd say if either one of these guys were scheme fits, that could give them a head start over Reed Adams, who we have right at left guard, but they're not. So we'd have to just, take that slow approach to their development. We can just go right back to D tackle here. Murad Watson. Whoa, way down here, McKinney has the finesse move. DJ Hicks. That's just something we really like at corner. Look, they're just C's. Both C's. Hampton does have a tackle, a catching. Would love to get like someone that has like a sneaky B-man, B-zone. I think we'll go Hampton here, I guess, versus going D-tackle again. Just diversify. Don't really like the D-tackle market. 42 at 47. Not bad. No dev trait. Good news, no movement on the D-tackle, so we'll go Watson here, the nose tackle. Looks, I'm just going to trust that, he's not terrible. Oh, shit. All right, never mind. Mulligan. Fuck! All right, screw it. We're going to go grab another D-tackle. I'm going to get the only one that has an A that I like. Dom McKinley from LSU. Trying to chase the depth trait now. At least we got D-tackle depth. Got a nice run back option here in Travion Wisner from Texas. 86 in true value at 131. No dev trait. Remember, this was a really good pick. Need a kicker. Nick Folk retired, so we're going to go and get the early kicker, top 50 player in Woodring. Ooh, got a dev trade fullback. Kanye Udo, 77 in true value. Remember him from like our Army rebuild in College Football 25. Made the transfer at Arizona State. Pretty cool. So we had a lot of picks, and 1, 2, 3, 4 fall under a 70. So that's pretty good hit rate. We get CJ Hicks from Ohio State because we're just collecting all the Ohio State players. Udo, 71 dev trade fullback. We get Hayden Hansen, the 6'8 blocking tight end from Florida. Woodring, 73. Wisner, 70. McKinney, 69. Watson, 60. Oh, man, that's a dog shit pick, especially by my standards. Hampton, 73 normal. We got Stone, 70, but he does have a dev trait, so the ceiling is there. But we hit it out of the park with our first two picks. Ryan Williams, a 78 with a dev trait. And the new quarterback of the future, Julian Sayin from Ohio State, here to save the day. Now we got Julian Sayin here during the quarterback show. Not everything's always going to be a gold medal. We get a chance. As long as we don't eat any sacks. Maybe get another bullseye to kind of speed things up here. Right here. Boom, bullseye. Let's go. 21, probably need another bullseye. Throw a worm burner there. That's not how. Why is he? Bullseye. Boom. Yes, gold medal. Julian Sayin. I like the perseverance there. He battled to get that gold. It wasn't easy. It wasn't spoon-fed to him. That's what you need in a New York Jet quarterback. So here's a look at our team as we go into year number 3. Offensively, we got a new quarterback. We have our hopeful franchise quarterback. We have, hopefully, a guy that can develop into a wide receiver 1B to complement our 1A in the X Factor, Garrett Wilson. The offensive line is coming together. Defensively, I'm worried a little bit about Aidan Hutchinson and what caused the Detroit Lions to, void his contract with 2 years left on the deal. But I assume Aaron Glenn's going to get him right. We got David Stone, 2 rookies going to start at D-tackle. I'm really needing this pass rush to heat up because our pass rush wasn't working when we had McDonald and Jermaine Johnson. So the pressure is on. Sonny Styles, Sherwood at linebacker. Thieneman, Cisco. We got McCoy, Thomas, and Brownlee here. 3 and 14 year 1, 4 and 13 year 2. Expectations, I'd love to get close to 500. A goddamn guilty conscience. I can't do it. It's a realistic rebuild. What is the point of starting with realistic trades if I'm fucking getting Aidan Hutchinson with 3 years left on the mega deal that he signed with Detroit. Yeah, I could, come up with a storyline, but not, best edge, one of the best edge rushers in the. I can't do it. So I will take an inconvenience fee. I'm taking a 3rd round pick. Now we're into the Madden generate draft class, so I can actually usually hit with a 3rd round pick. So that is the inconvenience fee. God damn it. And I will also be voiding all of our dead money, clearing our cap. So that kind of double screwed us, because if I didn't go after Hutch, I might have brought back Jermaine Johnson. So the bad news is, we're kind of screwed there. Tyler Barron, congrats, you're now a starter. Good news, because I got more back. Colin Simmons was there. The draft, again, hindsight, if I didn't do Aidan Hutchinson, we would have got Colin Simmons. He probably would have been, definitely a top 10 talent, probably a good dev trade or not. So that's, well, good news. Julian Sayin's a superstar dev, and we're going to put the old C on his chest. Man, oh man, this has been a shit show of 5 minutes. But the Jets are 4-0. And we just got a Julian Sayin and Thomas, offensive and defensive player of the week performance. We're on fire. The vibes are high. I bet you if we kept Aidan Hutchinson, we would just be randomly losing all the time. It's a bad omen. We got rid of the bad mojo. Vibes are strong. So midway point of year 3, I'm feeling real good. Vibes are high. Should be low after the Aidan Hutchinson debacle. But we are 5-1. We have the #1 scoring offense. And we're just off our bye week. Before the bye week, our pass yards and rush yards were good. Our pass yards, I think, were 8th or something like that. It was green. We had a little bit more green than what we had coming out of the bye. But we're feeling good. We're feeling great. Contracts, well, we got bucks. We're going to have bucks for this whole rebuild. $75 million worth of bucks. Fashanu not going to get paid here. 4-year, $100 million. Probably, if he's declining that, it might take 105 to get that one across the line. Sherwood has been awesome for us, so we will try to keep him as well. 3-year, wow, these guys are playing hardball. I would say outside of that, I'm not necessarily married to, I think Braylon Allen kind of just is what he is. 2 years would lock him up for the rest of the rebuild. And he wants to stay here, which certainly helps. Feels nice after the constant rejection. But I don't think we got to pay, do we want to pay $6-7 million bucks? 6-7 for... I know he's part of that trade with Sauce Gardner, but the reality is we have Arian Smith on a rookie contract, and our wide receivers going forward, Ryan Williams kind of messes up that room. I think Brownlee could be a nice DB for us, but we just got Hampton in, and I think, while we are balling with a little bit of a budget, I'm kind of surprised we only have that amount of salary cap. I don't know if there's some shenanigans going on, some leftovers from the Aidan Hutchinson deal, but I thought we'd still have well over $100 million. So that's, interesting. But in more good news, we absolutely hit the dev trade well here with David Stone at D-tackle. Didn't love the D-tackle market, but he gets an absurd to almost 25,000 XP for 5 sacks in the season, giving us 6 points. And kind of to counteract that, the house rule that we have always put in place is you have to upgrade scheme fit only. He's a perfect scheme fit, so that's going to bring up, he'll finish well into the 80s. At the end of his rookie campaign, a huge draft pick for us. And again, I'm just viewing all these things as positive goodwill, strong vibes from doing right with Aidan Hutchinson for the sake of this rebuild. All right, we got Sherwood signed. And Fashanu is signed. $101 million. Very expensive, but very much worth it for the superstar dev left tackle. In late season, we got our first kind of cheesy little upgrade for Julian Sayin. He's already a scheme fit, so it's not like we're going to have to take any hits. By for getting 30 passing touchdowns, and we still got 3 games remaining. Not bad, man. This game, we might be able to. He pops off. We could be flirting with 40 touchdowns in his rookie season. So the turnaround, it's early, and it's all the way you can do in the playoffs. But the Jets, 2 first-round picks, Aidan Hutchinson debacle, still does not matter. We go 11-6. We win the AFC East. We're the 2 seed in the AFC, ranking 3rd points. 3rd offense, everything else. I think every offseason we're going to be like, can I fire my DC, bring in a new DC for a new scheme? This defensive scheme is dog shit, unfortunately. But look at that. Julian Sayin 3rd in the NFL in passing yards, 3rd in touchdowns. He's a top 5 quarterback after his rookie campaign. Just continues to play at an elite level, leaving Ohio State. No drop-off. Our run game, not great. But we had 2,000-yard receivers. Garrett Wilson, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. Just under 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns for Ryan Williams. Mason Taylor had a hell of a year. Defensively, we got a bunch of tackles. That's why Sherwood got his extension. That's like there's getting a lot of tackles, and then there's getting a lot of tackles. So that I'm very happy to see. We get 14 sacks from David Stone, 9.5 for Arvell Reese. Obviously, it'd be sick if maybe those sack numbers were switched a little bit. But great 1-2 punch from our studs. Showed this guy, Eric Watts, who got thrown into the starting spot, him and Barron, last second when we got rid of Hutchinson. They were serviceable. McKinney as well, 5.5 sacks, not bad for a late round pick. And on the interception front, again, like we got to get a new fucking scheme, man. This is dog shit. Julian Sayin, top 5 in MVP voting as a rookie. Julian Sayin wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Ryan Williams, runner-up. David Stone wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Shadow Woodring, Kicker of the Year. It's a cool little divisional matchup in our first playoff of the rebuild at home. 10-7 Patriots, who are pretty damn good. Wouldn't mind this game getting a little out of hand and getting a taste of Julian Sayin in this rookie season. Opening drive, Jets score a touchdown. But I think this is going to be, we know our defense is not particularly good. Aaron Glenn's defense is, you know, for having a defensive head coach, at no point has it felt like we've had a good defense. Which in today's NFL, we're having a defensive head coach is, you know, not ideal. Certainly not the meta for building a franchise. Yeah, well, that game went very fast. Couldn't even really commentate a whole lot on it. A humbling playoff exit. Julian Sayin did nothing. 1 interception. Drake May, we just couldn't affect the pass. Couldn't do much. Shut out Braylon Allen. Really the only guy offensively that can hold his head high. Defensively, not good enough across the board. But we made the playoffs. You know, 3-14 year 1, 4-13 year 2. Playoffs year 3. We got 4-5 to kind of put it all together and build a championship contender. End of the year, Eagles with the Super Bowl. I don't know what we did to our salary cap, dude. We broke it. We've made this rebuild even harder. I should have way more money than that available. Like, we had, what, 150 when we gave ridiculous money to Aidan Hutchinson. Like, maybe we just got to get to the offseason and we'll get that money off the books, but that's very annoying. So our salary cap sucks, but lots of good news here. Offensively, we did lose the X factor on Garrett Wilson, which is annoying, but we gained a superstar in Mason Taylor. But look at Julian Sayin, out the box as a rookie, superstar dev, but playing like a elite quarterback. We have a superstar X factor, and he's a 90 overall. Defensively, very annoying that we don't have Aidan Hutchinson, obviously. It's kind of the elephant in the room. But David Stone, on top of above us, Sherwood's up to an X factor. David Stone, the rookie D tackle, gets the double Defensive Rookie of the Year. Whatever that means, but more importantly, superstar dev trait. So we're going to decline the 5th-year option on Membu to get ahead of paying that contract next year. What the fuck? I still got a $100 million cap penalty. Is there, like, does clear cap space not work anymore? Like, look, we go here. Members. That's me. There we go. We got to clear it. So cleared the cap penalty. So do we now have, like, $150 million? Why do we... it doesn't work? Oh my God, add it to the list, dude. Which, I mean, free agency sucks, so it's not like we're missing out on someone that I would really want to sign. Joe Alt's there, but we don't need a tackle, and need a pass rush. And the only guys are vets. Now, I did set my focus scout this year to pass rush. Hopefully that's where we can draft one. But we're really just at a spot right now where, you know, it's annoying that I don't have that salary cap, but wasn't going to spend it on the open market here in year 3. So as we go to the draft here, team needs, I think, you know, you can always take a look at running backs. Looks like a lot. Top 100. A lot of the top 100 is running backs, so we will see. We're not going to consider that in the first round. Secondary needs, it's pass rush. That's where we kind of set our focus scouts. Doesn't look like a great class. We get a little bit of a value pick here in Aaron Farmer to Texas, but 6'6", 285. Like, not a perfect scheme fit. And, I mean, I'm glad we have that scouting because he's a run defender, I guess. Wouldn't have guessed in a blind pick scenario, but value there. But that's not necessarily going to be an absolute problem solver. We have Pineda at pick 9. He looks pretty damn good as the only legit scouted first rounder. And what we have here, a little better size, 6'1", 251, has a finesse move, which I do like. But we got to see where he's going in the mock draft. Other position would be corner, but, I mean, we can blind pick corners with the best of them. So we got like an A-B on Winslow. I mean, if they fall, an A on Goldsberry. Hurts here has B, A tackle. That is a lethal combo when you get a B, A tackle. So we got players we scouted. I think Pineda, he's the guy that I'm most interested in, but I don't really, again, now with this concern about our salary cap, we can't be trading insane draft. And of course he's going top 10. Where are we picking? We are picking 20. Yeah, of course. So, edge rusher's gone. So it's kind of down to running back and corner. I think we'll get that Farmer guy. Value. We have Miguel Salas, a power back. Double A's look pretty good. Combine looks pretty damn good as well. Again, I don't really love the idea of taking a first round running back, but that guy looks pretty damn good. Or we have a corner here, Jose Hurts. He was actually the guy that looked the best. B zone, C man, A tackle. Let's see, does anyone else have a B man or zone? This guy here might not be terrible either. Matthew Polite. We got Damian Irving, has a late B grade there, but I'm thinking we could go with Hurts here. Jose Hurts, Virginia Tech, B zone, A catching, combine. Everything outside the 40 looks pretty good. 3-cone, 20-yard shell is exactly where you want it to be, and I mean a 4.4 is not too slow, so we'll go there. We needed a DB. Not as bad as edge rusher, but the edges all flew out the board. 27 in true value at 24, and we get a dev trade. And 92 speed's more than enough speed. All right, second round. Is that running back still there? Oh, that would have been cool. What was his name? Salaz or some shit. 230-pound White Lightning running back. Running a 4.3. Very interesting. What do we got to pass rush, though? Do you think we can keep waiting on Farmer? I don't know. I think we'd be testing our luck here. Trust our scouting. I don't know, man. That is dog shit slow. But 39 reps on a bench press on a clearly 3-4 defensive end. It's the only good edge redshirt that we had on our board. 63 and 56, not great. But he does have a depth trade and 92 straight. Okay. Maybe if we can find a better edge rusher next year, this guy could give us versatility to play maybe D tackle, like a rush D tackle. We got 2 third-round picks. Got some running backs here. This guy looks good too. Another White Lightning, not as fast. But we got A break tackle, B carry, B ball carrier vision. Or, I think we got to go parallel. Almost 240 pounds running a 4.39. Yeah, I'm in. 94 at 84. No dev trade either. Damn. No, if we want to keep that Farmer guy at edge, we could use another D tackle. So we got any nose tackle cheeses here? Let's see. Got one. Jared Kyle. C's across the board, which I don't love. Matt Vick has an A. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I like the look of Matt Vick. I think we had another nose tackle. Bo Potter at Ohio State. Whoa! 3 B's and an A. We're gonna entertain the nose tackle cheese here. 70, top 20 player at 88, and we get a dev trade. Let's go. Let's go BPA. This could be another good player. Our board's pretty much shot after this. I got to grab a long snapper when we're done, but we got no combine, decent letter grades on Matthew Polite. Yeah, dev trade, cool. So take a look at our draft recap. Ooh. Probably not our best class. We got a 71 long snapper. We're telling you right now, draft the heaviest long snapper. Good things will happen. Potter, nose tackle. Okay, so we got 68 polite dev trait, 76 dev trait on Potter. Barlow 72 normal. Farmer 73. Hurts 75 dev trait. I can't remember. Did Farmer have a dev trait? He did. Okay. Good haul, all things considered. Might not have got the edge rusher, but our unwillingness to really try to be aggressive and trade up, kind of tracks out. Holy shit, good year to get running backs. Oh, Salas. He was a guy we pondered, man, if we went first round. 80 hidden dev. Didn't see that. He looked good. I didn't think 80 hidden dev. What's the dev trait? Superstar? Okay. Gross. Disgusting. So here's a look at our team as we go into year 4. And, offense, we're feeling pretty good. I'd love to see maybe Ryan Williams take his game to another level. But at bare minimum, we got 2,000-yard receivers last year. That kind of needs to be the standard. Defensively, excited, man. We got 2 hidden dev linemen. Maybe not perfect scheme fits, but I think with Stone as dominant as he was a year ago, I think with Arvell Reese being a sending pass rusher, kind of excited to see what they can do. Maui Go get a dev trait now, so all 3 of our linebackers are dev trait. And our secondary with the addition of Hurts in the slot, who's a perfect scheme fit. It sucks that we couldn't find a new defensive coordinator. Maybe that'll be the little bit of magic. Fire one, get a good one going into year 5. Our last rebuild with the Dolphins, we hired Mike Tomlin going into the 5th and final year. That was pretty sick. That worked out well, so maybe we can get that kind of roll here, because I'm not super optimistic that Aaron Glenn's defense out of the blue will finally stop being total dog shit. But let's be optimistic. Just went to weekly training. Okay. Good to know. So we're at the midway point of year 4. Mixed bag 3 and 4. Not the end of the world. Not a hot. We're on a 2-game win streak, which is good. But we were 1 and 4 before that. 2 divisional wins, though. Certainly helps. Looking at our contracts, we do have a little bit of good news. The salary cap situation has rectified itself. So we should be able to sign guilt-free our superstar tight end Mason Taylor. Great development for him. Homegrown player. Membu, another easy contract. 4-year, $111 million. Done. Who's next? Thomas. Okay, this one here might be a little too expensive. There's no one. How much money do we got? $104 million. And he is a scheme fit. I'll put it this way. I'm not over the moon. If he takes this offer, sometimes the meter doesn't really matter a whole lot, but I don't know. I wouldn't rule out maybe letting him hit the open market. And if there's no one in free agency, we go, all right, screw it, we'll bring him back. But that's a lot of money for a slow outside corner. I think getting rid of Hutch was the right call. Because, look, Hurts our first-round pick. I saw this probably 2 weeks earlier. Yeah. We saw Farmer, little sneak peek. Then we got Bo Potter, the nose tackle cheese. Now, we're going the long way as far as his growth and development is concerned. But I think we had just unlocked his dev trait this week. Come on. My God, these menus are so slow. Like, of course, it's just like for some reason. Like, why is it slow? Why? It's next gen. Only a star. But for those watching, dev traits. We got Potter star. Farmer is an X factor. And Hurts is a superstar. So that Hurts being a superstar also kind of has us, gives us something to think about. Because I don't love the number that Thomas came back with. We have a superstar corner that can take his role. So, that's the worst thing. His agent is disgusted with the fact that we just drafted a superstar corner. We'll leave it at that. We're on like a 5-game, 6-game win streak, beating the Niners, and we get a Sonny Styles Defensive Player of the Week performance. So the interview number 4, that's not pretty. We made the playoffs, though. That's all that really matters. It's a rematch of last year's wildcard round where we got bounced by the Patriots. We're both 9-8. They had the tie. It would have been cool to maybe get a 9-8 divisional title to kind of pad our stats. Didn't really earn it. Didn't really deserve it. Man, our defense sucked too, man. Like, we had somewhat decent, like, we were in the teens, which I wasn't going to, I mean, our rush defense is 10th, but we had, like, points per game and passing yards per game. We're, like, in the teens, and then we just, I think we lost 3 in a row. That screwed our rankings up. So, pretty frustrated. I think Jets is just, they're not my favorite Madden scheme. We'll put it that way. But Julian Sayin, great year. 4,100 yards, 33 touchdowns, 5 picks, playing like a franchise quarterback. This is why we don't pay for a running back. I don't think, like, unless you just go get a Jahmyr Gibbs, who's like probably the best running back I commonly see in free agency. I don't think there's a running back that's really getting much out of this offense. Got 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns for Garrett Wilson. Just under 1,000, honestly, almost 3,000-yard receivers. So happy with those numbers across the board. Mason Taylor's touchdowns suck, but his yards were great. Sherwood continues to be an absolute animal. We get 11 sacks from Arvell Reese, 8 from the nose tackle rookie Bo Potter, 7.5 from David Stone. Farmer, the X Factor, out of nowhere, with 11 TFLs, 4.5 sacks. And our interception numbers are decent for the first time in this rebuild. Not as good as it was a year ago, but Julian Sayin still getting MVP respect, making the short list. But unfortunately, no award winners. And I mean, a 9-8 kind of middle of the mall years, that's what you get. So last year, the Patriots came into our backyard, bounced us in the wild card round. It is our turn to go return the favor, but they have an outstanding defense. Mike Vrabel got them boys playing. 3rd overall in points allowed, 6 against pass yards, top 10 against stopping the run. Let's just hope this battle of Sayin versus May, Sayin wins, if you know what I'm saying. But I have a gut feeling, man, this thing is going to change until we can change our coordinators up a little bit. We'll see. See what those old Jets can do. Taking the worst playbook ever, and we just strapped a NOS kid on it, and we're expecting to go win some drag races here. It's probably not going to win, but let's... Oh, it's just nothing good about this, dude. Like, it's so handicapping the talent that we have. We have a team that should be able to go out and compete. Like, look, fuck, man, we can't... Pulling teeth scoring points. No, we gotta cash in a staff overhaul. This staff, realistically, is severely underperforming. Let's go get us some mercenaries on OC and DC, because this is fucking embarrassing. I think another thing that's going to be in play for this offseason, we have $129 million of salary cap. Now, with all of our realistic rebuilds, if we don't win a Super Bowl within 5 years, there's not a happy ending every single time, but we are going to come back once we rebuild all 32 teams and rebuild the ones we failed. So I can't just spend this money for the sake of spending money, because if we don't win a Super Bowl next year, I'm not going to want to restart this rebuild being complete salary cap hell. However, if free agency does suck this upcoming offseason, maybe there's a game changer we can find via trade. Trade for Aidan Hutchinson, baby. And, oh man, I remember this was the same kind of vibes with the last, we did like a regular Jets rebuild. Garrett Wilson, I haven't seen a dev trade player want to regress as badly as Garrett Wilson regressed. He regresses all. He gets easy. I think you have a 1,000-yard threshold. You shouldn't be, regressing at the rate that he is. So that sucks. But defensively, we have Reese, Stone, Farmer, and Sherwood, all superstar X factors. Thieneman gains a superstar dev trait. We have the superstar dev trait on Hurts. And we're going to let Thomas at least test the open market. I have bad vibes that he might be like the best free agent that we might have to try to bring back, so we don't have to worry about that hole on defense. Now, we're not getting a break glass in case of emergency roll. There is not one real, aka scheme fit change at OC or DC. It's all generated guys, so we're sticking with the Jets. Fuck, we're fucked. For our contracts, we're going to decline the 5th-year option on Arvell Reese, pay him. We're going to decline the 5th-year option on McCoy because we're going to pay him. We're going to let Thomas hit the open market, and probably a good shot that we're going to try to bring him back with all the money that we do have. Look what we got in free agency, fellas. Nothing, and no one's interested. So sick. So sick. Let's go. All right, we're trading for somebody. Looking at our team here, like if we're going to make a trade, offense is fine. Defense, I guess safety, is that what we're missing? I don't really know what we're missing. That's kind of the, like a run, like do we just say screw it and maybe that's what we're missing? If we get a big time running back, we can actually get like thousands of yards, or I don't know, man. We're just working against a bad scheme. I don't know if any amount of trade's going to fix this. So the first move I'm thinking of, the Dolphins were the worst team in the league at 2-15. So I think that makes someone like Achane, who'd be a huge upgrade for us at running back, a little bit more expendable. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of those classic, didn't think it'd get accepted. I threw in a second round pick. Obviously, a running back's not worth a first round pick. Threw in a second round pick, it gave us like middle, 50% yellow. I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll throw in my running back, see where we're at, and probably have to throw in something else. They take that deal, so appreciate it. 2-15 Dolphins, not going anywhere. Kind of makes sense for them to be sellers. And I think in the spirit of trying to keep things always overpay if I'm making a trade, I'm going to just throw in another third round pick this year, a third round this year. So a 2, a 3, and Braylon Allen for Achane. I don't know what he looks like at this point, but the Vikings are also pretty bad. So, in the art of the overpay, they need D-tackle. I'd throw in Potter just because I think we could still find a nose tackle. 2 firsts for Justin Jefferson. Knowing the Vikings, I think, should be sellers in this situation. Right? He's 30. He's not. The Vikings have. I don't think they've made the playoffs this whole rebuild. So now it's time to do right by Justin Jefferson. I will overpay. I think I could probably get away without giving 2 first-round picks. I could probably get a 1. I will say, just to kind of future-proof, can we get like a third? Give me a third in 2029 and a third in 2031. So I'll give you firsts. You give us thirds. And Justin Jefferson, we'll give you Potter. There's our free agency moves. And I think this is an element that I've been missing in my realistic rebuilds. Because realistically, teams that are where we are with the Jets, 2 straight years of making the playoffs, but we're missing something. Those are teams that are buying really good players to try to get them over the hump. They will overpay to get really good players in. So what we just did was our passing offense was solid, but Wilson's been regressing. Ryan Williams has been good, not great. Well, why not maybe get a missing piece that can put this thing over the top? Why not get another X factor? Our run game's been abysmal. Why not go find the worst team in the league and trade for their running back? Right? Achane already within 1 day being in the Jets building. Now it's a divisional trade. You know, maybe we need to overpay slightly more. I feel like in both instances we overpaid. But for me, way originally when I started realistic rebuilds, I did realistic rebuilds because, I mean, no shots at Bengal, but Bengals rebuilds were like, I'm going to trade and just try to like rebuild teams by like, more so just taking advantage of the Madden trade system and just building a super team. People like to watch it. Obviously, he's wildly successful. But I was like, let's do a realistic rebuild because that's not how teams would realistically get better. But at this stage, going into year 5, we got nothing to lose. I couldn't get new schemes. We're still stuck with this same dog shit Jets scheme. So the only way, with no free agency, we've crushed it. We've done everything perfectly, and we have nothing to show for it, is we're a desperate franchise. Let's go get some game changers from bad teams that are selling. So with that, Achane, with that, Justin Jefferson, welcome to the New York Jets. Jettis. Perfect. The branding writes itself. So as we start the draft, our needs are, well, what we gave up. We need D-tackle. Probably in hindsight, should have brought back Thomas at corner. For D-tackle, we do have, honestly, there's not a lot of nose tackle cheese going down here. We got to wait to the UDFAs, which is always fine, but we can wait. We don't need to use that on a third rounder. At corner, could use something. Ooh, we got a couple B-mans. Tatum, Chapman, McCann. Ooh. Yep, that's probably it. If not, honestly, I might go draft that other corner next. Alan McCann, 48 in true value at 67, so great value. And we get a dev trade. Very nice. Our next pick's in the 5th round, so let's see what kind of nose tackle cheese may exist for us here. Could be Hutchinson. Really like to see like an A here on somebody. A play rec on Manu Ortiz. This bench press. Oh, there we go. There's the guy you want. Ortiz, and he runs a 4.9. Yep, that all checks out. He is 46 in true value, 149. Sick. Who needs picks anyways? Now with our final pick, we have the 6th round. I'm going to show you some. I swear to God, I don't know how this keeps happening. I was like, all right, can we get like a cheesy wide receiver? Like, there's nothing there. It's like, oh yeah, we did want to look at running backs last year. We have a UDFA running back in Juan Morales. That is a 1st-round talent. Now, I think if I was just blind looking, I was in the weeds. You have to go well into the weeds because he's literally, if you're going off of rank, he is the last running back that's available. But if I would have saw a 235-pound running back that ran a 4.39, that had 8 carry, 8 break tackle, B ball, there's something had to go wrong here. This is every day of the week should be like a 1st-round caliber running back. Sure. And this is going to plug a series that I'm going to be doing soon. A new franchise we're going to be calling the Undraftables. It's going to be a franchise series where I can only draft undrafted players. And know that these guys exist. I'm kind of excited for it. Look, top 10 UDFA player. That's all right. Gives us our power back now that we got rid of Braylon Allen. We bring in Achane, like a really undersized runner. There's our power back to complement him. Going into offseason where we added Justin Jefferson and Devon Achane. Very limited draft picks. I don't really care about the last one. We get a 78 UDFA grade running back in the 6th round. Normal dev, I guess. Kind of limits his ceiling, but still looks like a super fun player. Like, I'm just wishing, like, this guy got generated in that series. Imagine this guy being our bell cow running back. I'm glad to know that they exist, so hopefully we'll find another one someday. We get Ortiz in the 5th round, 74 dev trade, and McCann in the 3rd round, 74. He had a dev trade, right? Yeah, so absolutely crushed the draft process. Just to get a very quick look at the overall class. Whoa! Oh, there's the USC generated safety. That comes all the time. 85, 82 guard, 81 corner, 80 right tackle, 80 wide receiver. Really, really strong class. So as we go to year 5, don't need, take up too much of your time here. We just saw this roster, but yep. I mean, if this is the ultimate Hail Mary, right? This offense, this is as good of an offense as you could possibly get. This is as good of a freaking defense as you could possibly. We got Marshawn Nealon late just to add a little bit of depth here to our pass rush rotation. The veteran, former Dallas Cowboy, but we're at a spot right now. If not now, probably never. Like this rebuild, if we don't win a Super Bowl, right, it's going to be a sad, wet fart type ending. But when we would come around and to rebuild the rebuild, we would not win until I could fire and clean staff and get brand new schemes in. Because then, if this doesn't work, it's impossible. So mid-season, good start, 5-2, which I like to see. We should be. We are 90 overall, a 93 offense. I will say, like our individual ratings, I was expecting a lot more green than what is currently there. But we're in a really good spot from a salary cap standpoint. Arvell Reese, absolutely homegrown pass rusher, 4-year, $115 million, done. We now have Thieneman, another homegrown player. At safety, that's kind of a wait and see, I think. That'd be something that I'd like to revisit if we have to kind of start things back out. Again, $100 million for Julian Sayin as well. Look at these contracts, 98? Where are they finding these numbers from? Not paying guards. Jesus. Well, honestly, those are the type of contracts. We're going to let them stand, and I am sounding very defeatist because we have nothing to show in this rebuild. No real signs that we're going to get a Super Bowl here in year 5. So if we fail, I'd rather, figure out if I want to re-sign these guys ahead of another 5-year rebuild or not. It's been a minute. We got a breakout scenario. I feel like it's been like 2 years since I've had a breakout, so we'll keep it here. It's at linebacker for Mr., of course, CJ Hicks, right? Linebacker 3. Yeah, that's the guy that we want to break out, not, Sonny Styles or got a nice win over Buffalo. Did we get a breakout? Come on. This would be an easier one. He only goes from normal to star. This comes up behind my webcam. Do we get a dev trait? Free dev trait on the linebacker? He knows his role and does. This is all good wording. Oh, of course not. Sick. So, good news. 13-4, our best record of the rebuild. We go the 1 seed in the AFC. We get our second AFC North title. But, I mean, I'm happy the Justin Jefferson edition seems to have paid dividends. It should. We have a 95 X Factor quarterback. We have Justin Jefferson, 99 X Factor. We have Ryan Williams, 90-plus rated player. We have Garrett Wilson, 90-plus rated player. We have Mason Taylor at tight end, superstar tight end, and an offensive line that, you know, this offense, like, it should be number 1. Number 3 should be a slight, but we still couldn't run the football. And our defense, while slightly better, points a lot. Like, it's just, if you could take one thing from this realistic rebuild, fire Aaron Glenn and find a better scheme as soon as possible. This is, I rebuilt the Jets not too long ago, and I feel like it wasn't this bad. But, I mean, bend don't break defense. I'm not too pissed off about the 13th rate points against. Julian Sayin, 3rd in passing. Love that. 2nd in touchdowns with 45. 6 picks. What a pick. Outstanding quarterback. Can't get 1,000 yards because, of course, we can't. Justin Jefferson comes in. 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson, 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns. Ryan Williams, not, you know, a lot of mouths to feed. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Still, for a third option, getting 744 and 8 touchdowns, very good for Ryan Williams. Defensively, a lot of tackles. Sacks, let's shout out Arvell Reese getting 11, 8 from David Stone, but just not a good scheme at all for getting sacks. Alan McCann, the rookie. Our dev trade corner, 5 picks. Where did that come from? Star dev. Julian Sayin comes 3rd place in MVP voting. Aaron Glenn in his dog shit scheme gets Coach of the Year. You're welcome. But just a great view of how bad this. I have a super team. I didn't get a single award winner. This game sucks. Because it's year 5 while we're here, let's look at our player stats, what they've been able to accomplish in this rebuild ahead of what is going to be the final playoff run, Super Bowl or bust scenario. Julian Sayin through 3 seasons as a starter. 13,000 yards, 115 touchdowns, and 20 picks. S tier. He's been an incredible pick. Right pick. Obviously, we could have considered Ty Simpson, and we went Sayin, but it was kind of Julian Sayin the whole way. You know, obviously, we got some mercenaries here. But Garrett Wilson, just under 9,000 yards, 64 touchdowns. He was solid. Solidly good. Got that X factor early on. That was pretty badass. Mason Taylor was really consistent. Ryan Williams was unfortunately kind of a wet fart. Thought he'd be an absolute game changer. Kind of was a role player at best when we needed him to be a little bit more. Defensively, Sherwood, incredible. Let this, you know, probably the best thing about this Aaron Glenn defense is the mic is incredible. 1,000 tackles for him. Got an X factor relatively easy. 34.5 sacks Arvell Reese in 4 seasons. So that's pretty good. Almost double digits every year. 29.5 for David Stone. And Cisco leads the team with 11 picks. 7 for Sherwood. 6 from McCoy. Never had great interception numbers because, again, this scheme is dog shit. So happy for the fellas that they can kick their feet up and rest during the wildcard round. In the division round, we get the 12-5 Pittsburgh Steelers. 87 across the board. And a lot more green than we do. Lenore Sellers at quarterback. They still got TJ Watt doing their thing. A top 5 offense, a top 10 defense, 3rd in pass yards allowed, 2nd in rush yards allowed. We're at home. I think we're losing. I think this is going to be a one and done. All right. I'm gonna be honest. I'm so done. I might have to hop in. You know, house money after this. We can't get shut out from 0 playoff wins. I can't go out and get Justin Jefferson and be like, oh, well, 5 years in, can't sniff the fucking Super Bowl, let alone a playoff win. We have 0 points. Oh, my God, dude. It's so bad. It's the score. That's not bad. Low score and ugly dog. Okay, here we go. I got to come in. 4th and 6. Oh, my God, dude. Like, that's... I like to think when you watch these rebuilds, you could take something. Be like, all right, Jets are going to be a popular... Everyone's going to rebuild the Jets once they get all the draft picks, right? Fire the coach right away. Literally any other scheme would be better than this. Dude, I can't even. Oh, we got another chance. Okay. You may find it hard to read all my players' names with all the abilities that we have on offense. Oh! But you may be, shocked to find out we've yet to win a playoff game. That's where we're at. And literally, if I'm not spoon-feeding this drive, we probably lose. We probably end this rebuild. And I'm playing against the sim here. I almost played this like our Raiders franchise. Like, I think we just scored too early. I do not trust my team to take this absolute backpack carry that I just did. Of course, we're going to fucking overtime. Triple overtime. Kick the field goal! Can I fire? Like, I should just fire Aaron Glenn right now, and then just no coach, no scheme. Give me the most vanilla scheme possible. Well, yeah, 380, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Josh Jefferson, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, and we barely won. Brutal. AFC Championship game. It is going to be an absolute shootout. We get the 93 overall offense of the 12-5 Cincinnati Bengals. Number 1 overall offense, number 1 passing offense. The rest of their stats, though, suck ass. So we might have a chance here in the Super Bowl. They just got 6'6", 99 speed Nick Harbor to pair with Jamar Chase. Who let that happen? All right, we are the home team. It is a snow game. I'd like to think we can run the football better than they do. Assuming that the pass game is going to be affected, right? It's a snow game, so the team that only passes the football should be affected a little bit, right? Oh, my God. Cheeks are getting clapped. Yeah, I have to help them. I have to. This is so... It's not even like, oh, it's close. Oh, that was... We're getting smashed. At home. So let's go Ryan Williams. Julian Sayin just diamond. Insta score Cincinnati. We get 28. Ooh. 31-31. Of course, can't get the lead. 20 seconds. We're not going to get any press, man. Okay. No timeouts. Okay. Draw. Oh, this is a rebuild from hell. Like, you are no... anyone watching this, I guarantee you cannot rebuild this team better than this. This is the perfect amount of rebuild for the Jets. It's like pulling teeth. That probably should have been a pick. Like, if it wasn't a snow game, probably not. But look, they're not giving us a single look. Ooh, this is the closest they've been to the line of scrimmage. Justin Jefferson at the slot. Get it about. Oh, there's how we break even. If it was destiny, we would have missed the kick. All right, we're in overtime. Super Bowl on the line. Cincy gets the ball first. Oh, man. Just zero resistance from our elite. There we go. It's 3rd and 8 right here. This is going to be the game. We can get off the field here, get the ball. Good things are going to happen. 4th and 2. And they punt it. But it's a gong on the 1. Come on. Achane. Boom. First down. Achane. Just running it. Oh. Oh, let's go! Field goal wins it. In field goal range. Garrett Wilson, 13 yards. No turnovers. Justin Jefferson for 8. Running it. Oh, big touchdown. Don't even put it into risk. There we go, boys. Fuck yeah. I'll take that. I think if we didn't have such a bad scheme, that game wouldn't even been close. 40-34, an epic overtime thriller. Really wish I hands off though in the Super Bowl. I will not play a single snap. I already feel this rebuild's been tarnished and untarnished so many times. But Julian Sayin, 377 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Run game was reliable when we needed it to. Justin Jefferson, almost his second 200-yard game of the playoffs. That's exactly why you go make that move. Dom McKinley, the D tackle, with a hat trick of sacks. We got a forced fumble from Jermod McCoy. And the Jets in year 5 are in the Super Bowl after a thrilling overtime win in the AFC Championship game. I don't want to say maybe a fitting Super Bowl. The Battle of New York. Super Bowl on the line. 13-4 Jets, 11-6 Giants. Giants have a top 10 offense. Cam Scatterbo is a god in sim. They have a top 5 defense. We have the better overall team on paper. If they can't stop Justin Jefferson, we're going to win this game. If they do, we're fucked. So we get Jackson Dart against Julian Sayin, Cam Scatterbo against Achane, Malik Neighbors versus Justin Jefferson, Abdul Carter against Arvell Reese. The best on best Battle of New York. And this got to be sim, man. If we're going to win, we got to earn it. And I don't love the fact, just super easy opening drive touchdown. We respond, but it's been a couple Insta scores here. Oh, man. Need a big second half. Come on, touchdown. Field goals! We haven't stopped them once! Got to. I can't, dude. I just can't sit back and watch this happen to this. This is my baby. This is as good of a team, especially with the trades that we made. It almost feels like I should get a mulligan and a free pass because this scheme's so bad. Like, I'm hacking and breaking the game. I'm surprised my Xbox hasn't crashed. Like, can't compute. Winning with Jets playbook. Doesn't make sense. Justin Jefferson. Boom. We got to chew up this clock here. We still need the touchdown 2-pointer if we can get it. Well, let's make sure that if we do get it, Giants can't win in regulation. We got to take this and drag him into overtime. Julian Sayin, though, has been in crowd. I mean, we just got to take it as they give it to us. Touchdown, Garrett Wilson. We have no timeouts remaining, so we have to go for 2. More options. We're going to play full game. What is our best play? Oh, I already know. With Achane, the fastest running back. Got to be the fastest running back in the league. You know what I'm thinking. C4 special. Is that even H here? It is. Oh. Come on, defense, please. They punt it. Field goal wins it for the good guys. Let's see what we got. Oh my God, 3rd and 29. No. Hey, right result. We should have lost in the first round. If I didn't hop in, Jets, fire the coach. Thank you for watching an hour and a half to find out. Impossible to win with this. There is not a single different decision, game plan, roster strategy that can compensate for Aaron Glenn being the worst coach and scheme in this game. Frustrating, yes. It's the right result because fuck. So frustrating. Doesn't make sense. I started recording this at 8 in the morning. It is 6 at night. I've spent a whole day trying to fix something that can't be fixed. Yeah, here's a look at our super team that at no point played like a super team. I got a notepad. Every rebuild. This is our second L rebuild. We lost, I think it was Arizona. We realistic rebuild the Titans, Super Bowl. We realistic rebuild the Ravens, Super Bowl. We realistic rebuild the Cardinals. In that rebuild, we drafted Fernando Mendoza. We had Fernando Mendoza in that rebuild. We had we signed Jahmyr Gibbs in free agency. Signed Nick Bosa in free agency. So a lot of similarities to how we kind of panicked in this rebuild to figure it out. Cardinals rebuild is an L. We will revisit. We won a Super Bowl with the Giants. We won a Super Bowl with the Dolphins. And here we are with the Jets. It's literally, I think this might be the shortest next rebuild of all time. If we could fire this coach, maybe we wouldn't get it year one because there's always a couple growing pains. But I would be shocked when we revisit this if it would take me longer than probably 3 years to get a Super Bowl. Get a new scheme. But as long as you stick with Aaron Glenn, doesn't matter. I got 4 X Factors, some superstars, been drafting superstars, been developing X Factors, got a 99 quarterback, right? 94, 99, 96, 93, 90, 92, 89, 90. Doesn't matter. You know why it doesn't matter? This dipshit. Well, more rebuilds on the way, fellas, after the trade deadline. Colts and Cowboys, I think. I really want to go rebuild them. I know Cowboys, fun scheme. I don't think we're going to run into the issues that we ran in here today with those next 2 rebuilds. I really wish that we could have brought a Super Bowl. But I think it's the process you got to like. Super Bowl would have been nice. But as far as clicking on a video, watching me rebuild a down bad bunch of first-round pick Jets teams, you're not going to see a better rebuild. You're not going to see a better process of acquiring talent, developing talent. You're not going to see a better example of how bad a scheme can ruin all talent. But I will say, and we're going to rebuild everyone else. This might be the first one we come back to when we revisit some of the L's, because it won't be our last L. But I think this one here is going to be the most painful because it makes no sense how this team wasn't a juggernaut and how this team didn't mow over everybody. When the reality is, divisional win against Pittsburgh, if I don't hop in, we lose that game. Which means we would have gone 5 years with no playoff wins. AFC Championship game against Cincinnati, we won that game in overtime because I had to hop in. Super Bowl against New York, we probably don't even make it overtime if I don't hop in. So, it'll be a good one to revisit too. So I hope you guys did enjoy it. Apologies we couldn't bring it home in the end, but there's only so much I can do. But if it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Maybe let me know in the comment section below between Dallas and Indy. Obviously, Indy getting Sauce Gardner. Dallas, a little bit more of a rebuild team, getting Quinnen Williams and giving up picks. Still have the picks from Micah Parsons' trade. Which one of those 2 teams do you guys want to see first in the order? Let me know in the comment section below, as well as any other teams that you want to see rebuilt. Please let me know. And that will do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out, love ya. What a stud Julian Sayin is, and have a good one.